Okay, thanks for coming. I'm Agent Friday, also known as Steve sometimes. So I'm going to start by asking the question, what is Easy Flash? I think you mostly all know what it is, but I'm going to go over a few things because of relevance. So Easy Flash is a multi-cart. You can put up to like 64 on roughly cartridge images on it and select between them. I don't have that many on here, but just real simple. Run your program. So Easy Flash is designed by a guy by SCO. He is in Germany. His aim was to replace some of these multi-carts that existed that required EEPROMs. You have to pull the if you want to change anything, you got to pull the EEPROM, you got to put it in a program, program your image, put it back in, and it's a real pain. And not only that, a lot of them couldn't emulate certain types of cartridges. So if you wanted to make something that emulate just about any cartridge that was easy to program and more flexible. And he added a nice feature too that will not only have cartridge images, you can put any program on there you want. So if your game, for example, like Beam Rider is a cartridge, and it just starts right up. But Crossfire is a PRG file. It's hacked. It was a cartridge file. So it acts like it's loading it. It knows what the start address is, so you just got to press return and you're good to go. It also works for basic programs. Like Supermon. Supermon's a cool utility to have. And it just runs it and you're ready to go. So real handy. So what am I doing with this thing? Okay, so before Easy Flash came out, I had already been exploring ways to get a flash storage device that was that didn't run on the IEC bus. It was more flexible and faster. And then this came out, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And I had preconceived notions of what it could do. And especially here, you see loading Supermon, EF,1. When I first saw that, I was like, yes. So I go there and I try it myself. Like, this will be awesome. Illegal device number. Yeah. So I was really disappointed. And I looked into it, and I actually found that the designer explicitly set out to not make another mass storage device. Said this is for cartridges. There's enough mass storage devices out there, and I took that as a challenge. So my goal became, I'm going to make load, EF work. So what is EasyDisk? That's my solution to this. It's a driver that wedges into the OS, so it works like on it in a native fashion on the Commodore 64. It loads files almost instantly. So you can put it in your cartridge image. You load it as the first thing. Start it. So then I can load any program. And of course, being a true retro computing enthusiast, since I used Commodores in high school, and this is what a high school student would do. I had to do that. So I can load, let's see. Let's see. So a larger program like Crossfire. So that's a 64 block, that's a 16K program, almost instantly. It's just 24, 576, good to go. You cannot load a cartridge file. Maybe someday I'll make it start one if you try to load it, but deals with PRG files. But what makes it really interesting is you can save files too. The other thing I didn't like about how easy prog works is you have to burn the whole cartridge at once. And that means you gotta have a mass storage, you gotta have like a micro IEC, which most people have anyway. But you have to have something to hold a 1 megabyte image. And then if you ever want to change something in your cartridge image, you have to burn the whole thing. I think the EF3 may change that, but I haven't played with it enough. So, yeah, something I want to do is just like, I want to burn what I know I want on here now, and then later add parts as I come across them, without having to create an entire new image. So, at least now you can do that with PRG files. So, load the driver. I can create a program. I hope this is 10. Okay, I can save it. And you can see what's on the card too. There's ECC, run it, or you know, I just run it from here. Okay, so I'm trying to make it as compatible with the drives as possible. So load directory is not perfect right now. I got some things to change, but it's, you know, sends you a directory back as a basic program. It works the same way. So you'll notice that there's tap time the driver. Upper and lowercase, which is really easy to do on. You're really likely to run into that if you're choosing files from your PC file system, putting them in the card, but yeah, it tends to be kind of a pain if you don't remember whether it's uppercase or lowercase. So I made the file search be case instant, so I can load and it doesn't care. When you save something, it'll save it exactly as you tell it, so you can still use upper and lowercase.
What's the significance of 239?
You'll see, well, I can show you that now. Okay, so I just loaded Supermod, great. Let's say I want to load Crossfire. that's the significance. Just so it turns out Crossfire is in the same place in memory as Supermon. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. But so don't try to do that. Yeah, so that's its significance. Unfortunately, you don't get it at BASIC. I'm going to have a feature so you can set your own drive number. So 239 is kind of nice.
I was just wondering.
It's a gimmick. Because I really wanted to make the load comma EF. You know, it's got all the things you would hope from a file system. If you try to load something that's not there, you're going to find not found. If you try to save over something, it gives you a file exists. That's not very compatible right now. You know, normally you'd get on a drive, the save would just hang there, and you have to press break and read the error channel and say, oh, it exists. I just wanted something convenient for now. I may have different modes eventually where you can have compatibility mode and convenience mode. It's a lot nicer getting a message like that. So something I recently, let's save a large file, just to show you how fast it is. Dino eggs. Actually, I have to go to. This is from an IEC drive. Not there. CD into files. Try this again. So you can see loading from IEC without Jiffy DOS. Without Jiffy DOS is kind of slow. This is a 120 block file, I think.
Your directory does it report the right number of blocks for you?
Close. On a Commodore drive, it would be 250 bytes per block. Yeah. I do it 256 bytes per block because I don't have the same track sector linking. Right. So sometimes it'll report one less. And it's still there.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So let's save this. Save. Does it load into BASIC? It must. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Go. Yeah. There we go. I just thought of something. This may not work because, well, we'll see. So there it was. That's pretty fast. If I do say so myself. Let's power down the system. Choose easy gas. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to fail because it goes underneath where the easy flash ROM is and where the basic ROM is. I'm pretty sure. No, it's 30. Okay.
That's 100. To reach the 402.
Yeah, 38. 38.
118 blocks.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. I don't yet support wildcards, but might have to. Okay, 120 block file. 5 seconds. Catastrophic failure in 3, 2, 1. Oh, not so bad.
I'm bitterly disappointed by your lack of passion.
It'll take a little more pre-planning, so I'm meaning it. I failed to fail. Okay. Try more. All right, so back to here. And of course, you can watch it the whole way. Okay. What else was I going to show? Oh, yeah. So the thing I just recently implemented, because my first version didn't have a delete. So if you were gonna, like I like to take this like to our club meetings, and instead of having to hook up to 1541 and do all that, I can just work on a program and save it off every few minutes. But I end up with this long list of, you know, program.1, program.2. And that's kind of inconvenient. So you can now do this. Let's say load other command. Open 1, 239, 15. Print. Number 1. X. All right. So now you can see this list is deleted. I have it doing that right now for testing purposes. Eventually it's just going to disappear. And you can see from here that Supermon is gone. So coming soon will be renamed as well as saved replace. And I figure that's a pretty good feature set to make it usable.
Is there a version we can download now, or?
No, I think I could release what I have right now as an alpha. The way I'm going to have to release it is a Easy Flash image.
Yeah.
So I guarantee I've got the current version of the eAPI, Easy Flash API.
And will this work on an Easy Flash 3?
Yes, it does. I can show you if you want.
Oh,
Yeah, it works fine on Easy Flash.
Which way does this with Zero?
You know, I've never tested it.
I would be happy to test that. I have the Jimmy DOS 128.
Okay, we can try that out. So I want to. How do you do Okay. So I could give you a little overview of how it works. So you could use this with a blank. You could start with a blank image and have your whole almost a megabyte to save files into. Or you could take an existing Easy Flash cartridge, because almost any Easy Flash cartridge image is going to have some blank space in it. The way the Easy Flash is arranged is you get 64 banks of 16K. And so that means you can have 64 16K cards available. But if you squeeze in some PRG files, it just uses whatever space it can. And also there's cartridges that don't use both 16K, they might be an 8K cart. And so that usually leaves some pieces here and there that are free. And what EasyDisk does is it goes through the directory, it builds a table of all the used space. Everything else it says it's available. So, and it will find those places and put the program in wherever it can. And that's probably a detailed enough explanation. I don't want to bore everyone with the details. And I think now, yeah, that's about it.
Utilize the space if the cartridge doesn't fill out the block.
No. Well, I'm going to say, when at least Draco Part Maker creates a cartridge, every cartridge takes up the whole spot. It's theoretically possible to go through and search for empty space, but it's probably not a good thing because you don't know for sure that those FFs. Yeah, I guess I could give a small explanation of how the flash works. One of the challenges of making a program like this is the flash memory can only be erased in 64K blocks. And then once it's erased, it's set to all ones, or FFs, FF bytes. When you program it, then you can only bring those ones to 0. You can't set a 0 back to 1. So that's what makes it a little challenging to deal with, because once you write something, you can't erase it without erasing the large chunk. So SCO did a really good job of designing the file system so that you could add things incrementally. And that's really nice. You get 256 directory entries before it's full, though. And then once it's full, you're not going to save anything more. And so you could theoretically look for long stretches of FFs, which is probably just leftover space in the new cartridge. But it's hard to assume that that's actually free and it won't affect the cartridge. So that probably won't happen. Any other questions?
Would you say if you use just what you need?
Yeah. Save is nice to implement because you know ahead of time how much space it's going to take. If you try to implement something that opens a file, lets you write data to it, and then close it, the problem is you might find a 8K chunk here and try to use it, but if you write more than 8K into that file, you've got a problem because the way the file system on the EasyFlash is set up is cartridge files take fixed locations in a certain bank. The way that, let's say that you've got a cartridge here, and you've got one here, and then one down here, and this happens to be open. Well, I just messed that up. Okay, that's actually open. All right. So you find this free. The way it treats for program files, the way it treats space on the EasyFlash is it uses one bank, and when it reaches the end, it wraps around the next, and it just does that until you run out. So if you have this configuration, you would be able to save the 24K file. So any place I choose to put the sequential file, there's going to be a limit, and when you hit it, you're just in trouble. So in order to support sequential files, which I hope to do eventually, I need to extend the file system somewhat.
So if you're saving a large file now and you don't have space, what does it do?
It will report this full. I've got some ideas for future improvements, which I don't know if I want to advertise them all. supporting sequential files, the drive number options for sure. Eventually, I'd like to make it so when your directory fills up or your cartridge fills up, you could reclaim the space from files that have been deleted. But it's going to take, you know, if you're using this primarily as a disk, it's going to take a long time to fill up the megabyte. And eventually, I'll have a utility that allows you to pull the files off, probably a garbage collection utility that you just load and run. It'll take all your existing files and pack them down and give you more free space. If anyone's interested in trying an alpha version, let me know. I'll make a list and send it out as soon as I can. Anything else? Thanks for coming.